Okay. Let's get the party started, my friends. What's going on? Hopefully the sound is coming through good. Let me know if you're here, if that sound is coming through okay. Alright, we'll just give it a few seconds here. Do a bit of a sound check. Okay, looks like Landfill is early. Hey Landfill, how you doing? Doing okay today? It's gonna be a good one. The stream last night, we did our France USA battle, and it was so good that we did two other battles. We finished up. I'll go over that in just a minute before we get started into the new battle. Loud and clear. Good deal. Good deal. Hopefully not too overpowering, but yeah, this is going to be great. All right. So, looks like we got a few people here already. So we'll go ahead and get the thing cranked up and get into the discussion. So, oh wait, look, that's cool. Look at me in the right behind me here. Pretty cool little background, and almost looks like I'm streaming at this little advertisement behind me. But anyways, very good. Shocked at France for messing that end up. That was just insanely crazy. That battle, the France USA battle, was just unreal. I really thought at many points of the battle that France had absolutely no chance to come back, and they almost pulled it off at the end. I mean, it was just an emotional roller coaster. It was so funny. It was like France was just teasing us the whole time, and they just blew it right at the end. Oh, it was a painful loss for us France fans, but it's okay. It's a long season, and they get to face off against USA again. Let's see, in I believe round 6. Yes, round 6 they get to face off against USA again for their revenge match. Oops, stop that. Got stuck there. All right. Anyways, let's take a look at the standings so far after all the battles we did, and we'll kind of do a quick recap and preview of what we're going to get into in just a moment with the battle. So right now, in Group A's division, we got Austria and Russia sitting at 1-0, and we've got Prussia and the Ottoman Empire at 0-1 in Group A division. So again, there is going to be many opportunities for those that have lost the first round to come back. There is 10 rounds, so it will be a 10-game season for Group A and Group B because they have 6 teams in a division. So they're going to have 9 matches more left in their season. So who knows? Prussia could turn around and end up with a 9-1 season and make their way to the playoffs. The same with the Ottomans. We don't know yet. It's just the beginning of the season. Anything can happen, but off to a good start is Austria and Russia. And in Group B, we had one battle, United States versus France. Of course, the United States taking it, so they're 1-0 versus France is 0-1 now. And then in Group C, we did a battle for Huron and the Iroquois Confederacy. And in that battle, Huron took it overwhelmingly. They just stomped on Iroquois. I mean, it was a beatdown in that battle. It wasn't even close at any point, I don't think. And so the Huron are 1-0, and I really think in Group C, the Huron are going to be the nation to beat, simply because the units that they bring are just too tough for the other native factions. But you never know. Something could happen. We'll see. The Cherokee are a pretty strong nation as well. We'll see how they fare against Iroquois. And then we have the Plains nations, who I think got ripped off a lot in the game because the Plains nations, who we're gonna do as a second battle on this stream, Plains Nations and the Pueblo are going to be fighting it out. Now, this is going to be more of a cav battle because both those nations are stronger with cav. But the thing about the Plains Nations, they had the Comanches, and the Comanches were probably the most feared native tribe of any tribe in that time period, because they could just throw down so much firepower with their bows on their horses that they were unbelievably strong. And in this game, they made them musket firing mounted cav, and they made them a good unit, but I think they're a little underpowered. I think they should have had another Comanche unit for the Plains Nations that was bow cav firing as well, and I think that would have been more accurate. And I think they should have even had them up at the firepower of a Ferguson rifleman. Yes, I really think the Comanche should have had the firepower of the reload of a Ferguson rifleman, because the Comanches were known in many documents in history of being the fastest firing mounted cav that anybody had seen at the time period. So much so that it wasn't until Texas Rangers finally had the ability with repeating revolvers to stand up with their firepower. The Texas Rangers would sometimes go in with 4 pistols and also a spare cylinder so that they could match the firepower that the Comanches could wield on them. And it wasn't until then that the Comanches were actually able to be defeated. Hey, Rick, how's it going? Yes, I'm all better. Lego, hey, what's up? Why does it say 2020? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe I'm still stuck in a previous year. But up here it says 2021, so we'll go with that. I'm still stuck in a different time zone. It's a warp, if you will. But today's matchup we're going to do in this stream, Poland-Lithuania versus Sweden. And we're also going to do, on our second battle, the Plains Nations versus the Pueblo. And I'm very curious to see that battle as well. So we're going to get those kicked off in just a minute. But if you didn't check out those other battles in the stream from last night, or the first battle, which was Ottomans versus Empire, I suggest you check those out. They were pretty intense battles, but you can obviously see the results here as the Austrians and the Russians end up with their first win of the season, as does United States and the Huron. So it's going to be interesting to see how this season plays out, to see who makes it to the playoffs. The final stage of the playoffs, we can decide on a couple things. If we decide to do a round-robin type playoff, then we can make it a longer playoff season, up to 9 rounds, as we compete. And you'll see round 1, you can see how it breaks down. I don't know if I put a link to in the description of this video to my challenge page, but if not, I know I put it on the other streams that I did, so you can check it out. And after the stream, I will add that link so you can see that. Hey, Nasty, how you doing? My Plains Nation campaign is kind of wonky. Hope you're enjoying the weekend, buddy. Yes, I definitely am. It's good to see you there, Nasty. It sounds strange to say good to see you, Nasty, but it's your name, so we'll go with it. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this battle. It's going to be really great to see who comes out on top. I think anything can happen when it's AI versus AI. I've seemed to have come to that realization. So we're going to go ahead and crank it on up. Get ready to get into this crazy battle on Valentine's weekend. Yes, guys. Who needs a date on Valentine's weekend? Who needs a date when we got Empire Total War at our fingertips here? The big question, Landfill says, will be, which AI will throw away their rifles and cav the worst? So true, so true. It has been unbelievably crazy seeing the just, I don't even know how to say it, the stupidity of the AI using their rifles. Although the last battle that actually had the Tillers for France actually being used in actual firing. They're shooting their weapons versus jumping into melee. I was quite shocked to see that. It was the first, to be sure. So, anyway, we're going to break this down. Hold on, I forgot to look. Who's the home team? We need to look at that. Because they will have home field advantage on the first match. As you know, I think I've said it before, that this season, each team will face off against each other twice. Each matchup, whoever's the home field advantage, I think will pick a map that suits their playstyle the best. And in this one, looks like Sweden is the home team. So let's go ahead and crank it back up and pick a map that suits Sweden in this battle. So, if we're talking Sweden versus Poland-Lithuania, obviously Sweden has a big advantage with Cav. Their light dragoons are 75 versus Poland-Lithuania's 60. That is a big, big difference. But Poland-Lithuania can put more manpower on the battlefield than the Swedes. So, that being said, let's take a look here. I would say for Sweden, the maps we have to choose from: Finland, Austria Pinnacles, Homestead, Grassy Flatlands, Syrian Ridge, and Siberian Plateau. Now, I would say Grassy Flatlands, but Poland-Lithuania's numbers could nullify Sweden's speed on the Grassy Flat. So, it's a tough call to see where they should pick their home field for Sweden. We got Finland, which has quite a bit of open spots throughout the map. Might be a good choice, and there's also decent cover. So maybe we go Finland for Sweden. I don't really think there's necessarily a map that's going to be a home field advantage between these two teams, because I think they kind of balance each other out pretty nicely. That's kind of the cool thing about this battle. We're just going to go Finland. And we're going to do Sweden on team one side. Let's take a look here. We'll set up their armies, and then we'll get cranking into the battle. Now, this season, we are going to do things kind of experimental stage, if you will. And this will help us in future seasons of doing this if we choose to do more. Okay, so obviously the first armies are going to be just general because I have to command somebody. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do this. Alright, so Sweden. Let's get an army build set up for them on each one of their things. We're going to go in with a little bit extra cav for them. And we are going to bring... I want to get some unit variety. I think I mentioned that in one of the other battles. I don't want to just have, like, the same units facing off against each other. I think that'd be kind of boring. So I am trying to build some type of build that has some sort of unit diversity here. Alright. I think that's the best we're going to get with that one. And in this one, we're going to go a little more infantry heavy. Only bring in 4 cav. And we will bring lifeguard, a couple superior line, grenadier. Looks like we'll have to bring a militia as well. Alright. And last army for Sweden. If you guys have any comments, please throw them down in the comments below, and any suggestions are welcome. We will actually throw in a... I don't want to give them too crazy of cav, because the heavy cav is quite expensive, and I'm not convinced that it's going to help them out that much. So, looks like Sweden. There we go. Alright. Now for Poland-Lithuania. Now, like I said, Poland-Lithuania should be able to field a much larger army build than Sweden. Oops. Let's get a couple guards. And we will throw in a grenadier. Actually, throwing a guard grenadier and a militia. Going to the second army build. Let's see. And I'm trying to use just different the 6-pounder and the 24-pounder just to give some artillery diversity here. So it's not just too blah. We're gonna obviously want to throw in a winged hussar here, as we are doing Poland-Lithuania. We're gonna give them a more. There we go. Give them some good guard grenadiers. Actually, throw a guard and a militia. There we go. That's a pretty good build. And we will do, I think, another winged hussar in this one. I want to give them a couple. I mean, it's too legendary of a unit not to give them any. Okay, so we're going to do the same army build as that one. All right, I think that's a pretty good build. How long do you think the battle will last before the AI goes into massive blobs of melee? Honestly, I don't think it's going to take very long. I really don't. All right, let's get to it. It's going to be interesting to see how bananas this gets. All right. Give me a sweet tea break. I'm fully loaded on sweet tea. We're almost fully loaded. So, okay, here we go. I should be able to check the live chat pretty frequently, since I'm not actually fighting in the battle, just spectating. Alright, so here we go, Finland. This is going to be bonkers. Alright, so we got Sweden. Obviously, 2 armies are going to be starting on the bottom level of this map. One in front, one in back. And I am in back of the front army here. And the Polish-Lithuanians, just so that you know, their extra general is behind their army as well. So everything is balanced. There's no imbalance. Hey, Total Wars Master, what's up, man? Doing AI versus AI here. It's gonna be nuts. So we'll see where they drop their artillery. They got one howitzer up here. I don't know where their 6-pounder is. I'm trying to find it. I think it's, oh, here it is. It's running through the woods here on the hill in the center. And let's see. I would think that the artillery should start opening up fairly quickly. The AI is pretty aggressive with getting their horse art up and opening, so we should see some artillery firing off fairly fast. So it's going to be pretty crazy. Hey, Mr. Stonks, just like the simulations. Yep, I do too. Going to be a cluster F. Yes, it's going to definitely be a cluster F. All right, it looks like we got some winged hussars in the valley region here. They're trotting along slow-paced. So we'll see if choosing to go through the valley ends up being disastrous for them, as there are 3 light dragoons here, and the AI could quickly run them up here on this small hill and blast them before they get through the hill. I don't know that the AI is necessarily going to be that aggressive to get that done, but with 3 light dragoons there, that could quickly take out this winged hussar. So kind of a curious move by the Polish AI here. They do have a light dragoon here and also one trailing along. That could be disastrous as Sweden is creeping closer to that edge. Uh-oh, we got something going on here. It looks like Poland-Lithuania's got a nice little flanking on them, but the Swedish dragoons turn around just in time and blast the ever-loving crap out of them. So what looked like a great move turned out to be disastrous for Poland-Lithuania there. That was incredible. They are suiciding the extra general, it looks like. Oh no, this is the winged hussars, my friends. The winged hussars are going after the Swedish general here. This might be a very sad end to the winged hussars, as they are going to get shot by line infantry in a second. They blow past the general. What the hell are they doing? They just get nailed. What does Poland-Lithuania think they're doing? They're about to get shot by lifeguards afoot. They swing past them, miraculously missing them. Oh, they're going for the artillery maybe. I have no idea what the winged hussars are doing. This is absolutely insane. They do land a hit on this line infantry, smacking down 21 men right away. But the riflemen are opening up on them. The winged hussars are already down to 18 men. This is going to be it for the winged hussars, I believe. This is insane. The winged hussars are out of there. They did do a little bit of damage, killing 3 off of one line, taking another one down to 96, but very expensive unit to only get that damage. The other winged hussar is right here, and there is artillery fire coming in all around them, firing just everywhere. Poland-Lithuania is under massive attack. They're just throwing their cav away, as Landfield predicted. Riflemen just got blasted by this light dragoon, taking them down to 36 men. This is intense up here. Here comes the winged hussars. They are going to go in for their classic charge, and it looks like they might get shot down in the path, but they are clean so far. And then they get stuck in the lifeguards, and they are not going to fare well against lifeguards, sadly, because there is plenty of infantry and light dragoon support here. The winged hussars, expensive disaster, my friends. Although light dragoons did cause some own damage on their own lifeguard, but I don't think the lifeguards are making it out of this one. But it looks like Sweden did lose a light dragoon over here as well. Yeah, the winged hussars are trying to do something, trying to get something going on. Maybe they're trying to swing through to hit this general in the back, but they're getting blasted along the way. They're down to 16 men, and he's out of there. Looked like a pretty disastrous move there. Sweden's about to lose another light dragoon here. Does look like Sweden has tried to push this flank with their light dragoons. 3 of their light dragoons taking the flank, and they have put a beating down over here on Poland-Lithuania with that push. This is intense. I can't believe it. Sometimes Mr. Stonks has said, sometimes I wish the AI could get a like. Yeah. I love battling the AI. Makes me feel I'm good, says Total Wars Master. Boy, I tell you, this is becoming an intense affair. Just like the other battle, it becomes a blob of a mess here in the center, and artillery is just opening them on both sides. Obviously, Sweden has got tons of blue uniforms in here, a little bit more red towards the top of this melee scruff, as it is becoming massive. Light Dragoon just breaks. Got the militia here. They need some assistance. Another militia here. Poland-Lithuania needs more assistance than just 2 militia here. They do have a rifleman in melee. Poland-Lithuania, shame on you. Throwing away your riflemen and your winged hussars like that. Looks like Sweden has lost a few units up here to the top, though. Got my general just spectating up here. Got the howitzer up here opening up from the woodland. Looks like both these guard grenadiers here are taking it to the other grenadiers, but the guards are opening up right in the back of their own guard grenadiers, and he decides to slowly, pedestrianly walk forward. So, Poland-Lithuania looks like they've got an edge up here to the top. We'll see how this turns out. It does look like they have taken the flank down here somehow versus all those light dragoons. They routed them all out. So they're taking both flanks. We'll see if that ends up being an advantage for them, as they need to get into these riflemen. The riflemen for Sweden being much wiser, using them as a firing unit versus a melee unit like Poland-Lithuania is doing. We got some breakage happening here, ladies and gentlemen. Breakage happening everywhere. Now 3 Swedish units about to break. We have 1 Polish, of course, the riflemen that were in melee. My God, look at this mess. This is incredible. I can't believe it, guys. This is going to be crazy. We'll see. This could change in a heartbeat. We saw the Ottomans in the battle taking advantage of the melee, but then the Austrian artillery just laid down pummeling fire on the Ottomans and broke them and won it for them. I think the Ottomans would have won if not for that. As we see the Swedish artillery using shrapnel shot versus canister shot, that's going to be devastating. They should have used canister on these Guard Grenadiers. That's going to be c'est la vie for the artillery, as they will sweep through both of these artillery units quite fast if they don't use canister shot here with this other one. You almost got to take out your own artillery in this situation. Let's see what's going on in the live chat. We'll swing over here, take a look at it while I read the chat, so you can see what's happening here. Landfill says, took 5 minutes till the scrum. Yeah, it went bananas. We see a shrapnel shot coming in. So artillery fire is landing down on both of these nations here. As we read the chat, Mr. Stonks says, AI are small brain that can sometimes pull big brain moves with the surprise god. Yeah, isn't that the truth? It says, mega intense. It is intense. Landfill says, the AI pulls moves which can be so stupid and unexpected it sometimes takes everyone by surprise. That is absolutely the truth. What do we got going on here? A superior line coming in behind, and they are going to take out the Polish artillery, and this is going to cause some morale drops as they're getting attacks in the rear because of this unit here. This is going to cause morale drops for Poland-Lithuania. As you can see, one of their units is wavering, and this is going to cause some problems. They got another artillery unit that's going to come into problems. That rifleman right here could shoot them down and take the advantage here. They've already taken care of one artillery. This is bananas. We know Poland-Lithuania has taken the flank here, and they're going to be able to put their own morale drops on Sweden. This is just going crazy. The Guard Grenadiers taking it to them. I mean, they are the MVP of this so far. On both flanks up here, we got the Guard Grenadiers sweeping behind. Guard Grenadiers just going after it. They're the MVP of this so far. I just don't know what to say. Sweden has got their hopes strapped on this battle melee scruff here in the center. Can Sweden somehow pull it out? I don't know. At this point, actually, the balance of power is heavily in favor of Poland-Lithuania at this point. Well, not heavily, slightly. But we see some breakage now here in the scruff, as the riflemen of Poland-Lithuania have decided, instead of shooting the artillery, just running in and getting in melee. Not sure that's a great move, but now the Guard Grenadiers are about to open up on this other artillery unit, and that is going to put an end to that artillery. The Guard Grenadiers can lay down some intense fire, but they are switching their target as the artillery is moving. Got a general here doing something. I got my general too. I got to throw him down in the fight. I'm not going to... Actually, we stated yesterday that I can't throw my general into the fight until the very end, but I am going to at least pull him down somewhere closer. There's a rifleman here in the woods close to where my general is, doing nothing. He's just kind of hanging out. But it looks like Poland-Lithuania is... I don't know. It's hard to say what's going to happen here. There's not really much artillery left to change this outcome for either team, as the superior line has taken over everything except for this 50 guard could easily knock out the superior line, but that superior line did knock out all of the artillery for Poland-Lithuania. They're finishing off the last one right here, just one man left. So this is pretty crazy. I would say Poland-Lithuania should take this, with the fact that they got all these units now behind the enemy, and that should cause plenty of morale drops, even with lifeguards being in here. They're facing up against some guards of Poland-Lithuania. Looks like Poland-Lithuania is going to lose the line infantry, but they got support by a guard unit that's pretty healthy coming in behind, and they got some more lines coming up. So yeah, that Swedish superior line has been broken, and it might turn into a mass rout here, guys. There's routing happening everywhere. Surprisingly, Poland-Lithuania is losing some units, but they were pretty depleted. This could cause a chain reaction, though, for Sweden, this breaking unit. There's another one breaking. That could just spell in for them. I think Sweden is pretty much done. So we do have this rifleman with my general, but that's not going to be enough. Poland-Lithuania should take this easily. Look at the balance of power. it is almost all Poland-Lithuania now. It says, you never know. That's so true. We did see that with the France battle, but with this Guard Grenadier opening up fire on the back of the Swedes, I think it's pretty much a solid deal. This one rifleman is just not going to be enough to take on all of these guys. So I think I can safely just throw my general in here and get some kills for me and my boys in Sweden. Will be the thing. The rifleman opening up on the other rifleman. This was a pretty intense battle right from the get-go. I think Poland-Lithuania took it straight at him and made a devastating statement on these poor Swedes. As you can see, all their units have routed out except for my general and this rifleman. And I'm just throwing my general in here, and he should soon die. Here's my bad general right here. Getting into the Guard Grenadiers, chopping, and he's out of there. He is routed already, and this rifleman should be quickly to rout as well. But if you're a Sweden fan, don't fret. They do get a rematch against Poland-Lithuania. That should be coming up in round 6 for the rematch. So look forward to seeing the rematch in round 6. We should go ahead and fast forward this, as this is pretty much over. There is just there's another Swedish rifleman full power coming over here as well. But, I mean, again, it's just too much for them to take on. Poland-Lithuania has way too many units and also way too many good quality units for them to compete. All right. So, can't fast forward for some reason. I had this problem yesterday. It's not allowing me to fast forward. So we're going to have to sadly sit through this as Poland-Lithuania does that. But that gives us some time to hit over to the live chat. So hit us up in the live chat. Yeah, the game is running smooth. Yes, it was running smooth until we couldn't do fast forward. The rifleman down here is broken. He is toast. Poland-Lithuania still has a general, so they got some mobility to be able to run up here. And the rifleman up here breaks. It was just no use resisting. They have called it, ladies and gentlemen. Poland-Lithuania is going to take this battle. So, let's check out the results and then add them up. And then we will go to the next battle, which will be Huron. I'm sorry, not Huron, but the Plains and the Pueblo, which I'm looking forward to that battle very highly, which will be in just a moment. Let me add up the kills here. 1098, 11... 14. Whoops. Can't put my calculator in here correctly. 1039 and 3. So 32, 54 for Sweden versus for Poland-Lithuania 1070. 1165 and 1295. Real good kill counts. 3540 for Sweden. All right. So let's switch gears here for just a moment and head over to our challenge page and enter the results for this battle. So we have all of Group A's battles completed. So let's take a look at how this division is going to be looking. Okay, so with all three of these battles for Group A done, we now... Wait, that didn't take in for some reason. Submit scores. There we go. All right. So standings are... We got at 1-0 for week 1. Austria, Russia, and Sweden coming in at 1-0. We got Poland, Lithuania, Wait, I did that wrong. I entered it wrong. Let's edit that. Okay. Let's get that fixed. 35-40 for Poland, Lithuania. Yeah, that could have been a blunder. What the hell happened? 35-40 for Poland-Lithuania. And 32-54 for Sweden. All right. There we go. That. Come on. Don't tell me I blew that. Okay, submit scores. Come on. All right, good. All right, so there we go. Fix that. Sorry for bearing with me on that. So Austria, Russia, and Poland, Lithuania all on top of the division with 1 win. Sweden, Prussia, and Ottoman looking for their first win. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a match that I'm highly looking forward to. Plains Nations and the Pueblo. This is going to be a great battle. Yeah, I totally blew that one, Landfill. Rick Gamer says, Calculator, what's wrong with your fingers? I'm sadly, I don't have enough to add up all that. I just don't have enough. All right, so we're going to have Plains Nation and Pueblo. Okay, so both of these nations are very highly horse cav nations. Pueblo will be the home team. So let's go ahead and get to that battle. This one I've been looking forward to. This is going to be pretty exciting, as there's a lot of history behind these two nations. Obviously, Poland, Lithuania, and Sweden had a lot of history. I built the divisions so that they would have division rivalries, if you will, based on their history. So I think I think I did a pretty good job building the divisions. Hopefully you think so as well. But if you think there should be some changes, let me know in the comments, and we can take a look at that for any future seasons. All right, so let's get to the battle set up. And we're going to do this one on grassy flats, as I don't think either one of these will have an advantage over either the other. But these are two very highly cav-oriented armies. So we're going to do this on the grassy flat, and let's see who dominates who in the battle of the grassland. All right, where are they? Pueblo, where are you? There you are. All right, let's get these guys set up. This is going to be pretty fun. I am pretty excited to see how this goes down, as I love my cav. I just love it, and I'm interested to see. So at the beginning of the stream I was talking, but we got more people here than then. So I'm interested to see in this, because in history, the Comanches dominated all the tribes that they came in contact with. They were absolutely dominant. Their ability to use horses and their ability to master the bow was just tremendous. So tremendous that they made the Apaches move all the way to Mexico and basically took them out of the region, and the Comanches dominated that region for over 100 years. So quite impressive indeed. And yes, I am building tremendous amounts of cav for this, so this battle should go quite fast and quite intense as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Seeing all cav pretty much, because that's what both of these nations were built off. All their infantry is just basic infantry. So that's why we are doing this. This is going to be incredible. It's going to be fun. I am ready for it. Almost done building the armies. All right. So here we go. We got the Pueblo built. Now let's work on the Plains Nations. This is going to be a highly Comanche-dominated army. And we are going to add 3 of the Cheyenne Dog Soldiers, which is a great unit, by the way. Absolutely great unit. And if the AI decides to dismount the Cheyenne Dog Soldiers, that could be absolutely devastating to the Pueblo, because the Cheyenne Dog Soldiers have excellent reload. Just excellent reload. All right. Last army to build, and then we'll get to the battle. All right. Here we go. Okay, you guys ready? This is going to be crazy. Let's see. Landfill says PETA wouldn't be impressed. Yeah, they probably wouldn't. There's going to be a lot of dead horses on the field after this. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. Sweet tea break. Okay. So both of these armies are fairly small in number, but what they lack in number, they make up for in punch. It's going to be interesting to see how these very horse dominant nations will fare against the more infantry strong native factions. It's going to be very interesting to see indeed. So but right now we're gonna see who the horse master is. My bet would be on the Plains nations, based on the Comanche. But again, I think the Comanches were kind of not given the best stats in this game. Now let's see what the AI is going to do. Now, a lot of complaints about CA's use of their AI, and justifiably so, but I think it's a very difficult thing to balance. So, I mean, the AI is what it is. I mean, you still have multiplayer, and that's a great thing. Let's see. 10 watching should be 1,000. Yeah, the YouTube glitch. Yeah, I know. It's just something we're going to have to deal with. It'll get bigger. It'll get bigger. Okay. I would think that this is going to intensify pretty quickly. It looks like they're staying pretty balanced across the lines, although the Pueblos seem to be pushing more to the center. Looks like Plains are as well. They're starting to form a gap here, and it looks like they're sending a couple extra units over here. So we'll see how this balances out, but they're starting to form a gap here for the Plains nations. That could end up being decisive, but the Plains nations look like they will have an advantage over here on this flank. Maybe. We'll see how it plays out, but the Pueblo are pushing right into an envelopment here, which is kind of surprising. We'll see what happens. It's probably going to start here fairly quickly. Looks like the same thing has happened to the Plains nations over here. They're almost forming a V. Alright, I think that's going to start over here on this flank. I'm surprised they're not coming in, and now they are. Here comes the Comanches coming in, looking to get the first hits. We'll see who shoots first. The bows are starting to fire. They're shooting first. They got a pretty good chunk out of this Comanche unit. We'll see if they return fire. Here they do. They got him down to 28 on that shot, so fairly good return fire. But they are getting shot by another bow cav, and they missed every shot. So all the action's starting over here. Whoa, we got a lot happening here in the center now. Comanche's starting to lay down fire on them. They are getting chewed up by some bows, but now in the center, we'll see what happens here. They got one unit wavering already. It is just massive pile-on here. This is going to escalate quite fast. They got a whole army here sitting and chilling on both sides. I don't really understand what's happening there. But we have some breakage by Comanche, and a Apache warrior breaks. They got a 2-on-1 situation here. So this Apache should break. We got some more breakage here happening. A lot of breakage happening for the Plains nations here in the center. They need some reinforcements quickly, or this is going to become a rout. A fast rout indeed. We'll see what happens here. There's a lot of Comanches here. They're easily taking this flank, so they can wrap around if they just get after it. They don't want to stay in a melee here too long. Any of these free bowcav can easily lay down some pretty heavy firepower on them. They got a whole army just sitting out. Looks like the balance of power is really shifted in the Pueblo's favor here pretty heavily. For the beginning of the fight, that is. Although now we're starting to see some breakage for Pueblo all over the place. This flank is getting rolled up quick. If they start swinging around the back of them, this could end up being pretty easy for the Plains Nations to take it. But I'm surprised that this whole army is just sitting back. They're too far away for the Plains Nations. And we got fire. This Pueblo Apache unit is just getting dominated there. They're shooting their own unit in the back, though. Shooting their own Comanche in the back. We'll see here. These two lone Apaches are going to get dominated there. This is crazy. Yeah, the Pueblo are getting just wrapped up here. So if this continues, this is going to bounce out quite fast. And now they have the flank of this Pueblo nations here. So if Plains can easily take this, they're already starting to execute, looks like, an advance on this flank. I haven't really seen any of the dog soldiers, but it doesn't look like the dog soldiers have dismounted. I see some chiefs in here. There's tons of Comanches. They are all up in the back of the Pueblo here. It's over for the Pueblo in this section. They do have some routing Comanches, but this mass is going to get wrapped up fast, and they should be able to shield at least all these Comanche warriors here from getting hit. I'm thinking Comanches are the Plains nations are going to take this. I'll be shocked if they don't, just by the positioning that they have. They are throwing everything in on this fight here, the Pueblo are. So if the Pueblo can somehow turn the advantage here, then Pueblo can take it, but I'll bring my general in closer. But if they are able to hold out a little bit, Plains nations can come in behind and just put a beat down on them. They need to get rid of these chiefs and Crow Horse warriors here, which they should easily be able to do. The Crow Horse warriors are not anywhere strong compared to the Apache. So here come the Comanche in the back. There is a lot of routing here. They need these units here to hold out as long as possible for these Comanches to come in and make some damage. Comanches are still, the balance of power is not in their favor. There's a mass rout going on here. So Pueblo, if they can somehow get turned back around and face the upcoming Comanches here, they might be able to take it. They're still two. They're about to break. They're about to break. So I think that this is going to be a Pueblo win. These guys got to wrap this up quick and get back in this fight over here. Help their comrades out, because there's not many of them to take on this fight. And like I said, all these bows are going to be able to throw in. You can hear the bows shooting in. They're going to make short work of the Comanches if they don't get after it. Come on, you got all these units. You need to get in there. All right. We got a lot of breakage happening. Sadly, it's for the Plains nations. They got some Pueblo breaking too, though. Here comes some more. They got a chief coming up. Maybe that chief can keep these guys in the fight. They got a couple Comanches coming as well. Let's bring my general over here to keep the Pueblo in the fight. This is pretty tight now, but the balance of power is highly in Pueblo's favor. I should be able to win the fight over here against these two Apaches. And let's see if we can see the numbers. These Comanches are pretty low in number, but they did have one come in over here on the flank. But here comes the Navajo, but he's pretty low. This is pretty tight. I don't know. Look at all the death in here. There is just a... This is like pinto beans here with all these pintos on the floor. This is going to be down to the wire. It's starting to level back to balance, but not much. This chief needs to get back over here. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Got two Comanches sweeping around. Got Apache going to meet him. I don't want to get involved in the fight because I could heavily influence the outcome of this fight. Now, this Apache winning it, I think, could be the death knell for the remainder of the Plains units here. Chief Bodyguard is about to get shot by some bows. He is moving, so he avoids too much damage. He needs to get in the fight, though. Playing around like that is not going to help their favor out. Okay. This is actually pretty tight. Plains nations are about to break, though. But I'm going to tell you, it's not by much. This General's Bodyguard, I don't know what the hell he's doing. Yeah, it's over for the Plains nations. I don't think they can win this. They are dished down to one unit in the chief, and that unit's about to break. So it looks like Pueblo is going to establish themselves as the winner of this battle. And it was pretty tight. I mean, there's not a whole lot of them left. I mean, we got a 28 unit, 10, 13, 20, 16, 18, and 14. So it's not by much. It's not by much at all. All right, so this is over. I'll go ahead and launch into this. I'm not going to have any effect on this battle. The Plains nations go down to the Pueblo, but just barely. I mean, this was much closer than I think it lets on to be. And I think a lot of it was just poor movement by the AI for the Plains nations. They could have taken this easily. So, anything can happen in these battles. Anything at all. So there we go. Plains nations go down to the Pueblo in a surprise, in my opinion. So, let's take a look at the results. We'll tally them on up and see where the standings are. So, Pueblo, you're going to see the kill counts are way less because they both fielded such small armies in comparison to the other battles that we had. 1,842 kills for the Pueblo. And then for the Plains nations, we got 1,855. So actually, the Plains nations got more kills in this battle. So we're going to have to add a little bit to make them the winner. Okay. Let's go to the results screen. Give me just a second to get myself situated. All right. Let's go down here. Okay. Plains nations and the Pueblo. All right. So the Plains nations ended up with 1,855. And we're going to have to add a little bit to give them the win. 1,842 would give them a loss, but they actually won. So we're going to boost them up by 20 kills to give them 1,862. That'll put them just in the head over the Plains nations. Submit score. Come on. All right, so there we have it. Now the standings are in. So week 1 is finished for Group C, as the Cherokee are on a bye because they only have 5 nations in their group. So we have the Huron and the Pueblo sitting at 1-0, Iroquois and the Plains nations at 0-1, and then we have in Group B, United States as 1-0, and later today I'm going to do another live stream, and we're going to have Maratha and Great Britain fighting off, and then Spain and United Provinces battling it out. So we're going to have that stream at 8 o'clock tonight in Central U.S. time. Yes, it was definitely close results, Landfill. And we had some great moments here. I think the MVP of the battles that we had, obviously the Apache Mescaleros were the MVP of the fight we just witnessed. And obviously in Sweden and Poland-Lithuania, obviously the Guard Grenadiers were the absolute MVP of that fight for Poland-Lithuania. And as a matter of fact, of all the battles I've seen, I don't think I've seen a unit of any type be more decisive in actually helping the outcome of any of the battles of any of these first round fights than the Guard Grenadiers. So I think the MVP of the week one should be the Guard Grenadiers. They really came out and established some domination. They swept around on both flanks. All the Guard Grenadier units really absolutely made a statement in round one. Incredible. Landfill says he's going to watch the stream later. Yeah, I know it's going to be late for you guys over there. Definitely understand. That's why I wanted to get in a stream early today for those of you that can't be there for the stream later, but you can always check out the results later. And I think what I'm going to do in this, and your suggestions are definitely welcomed as we develop this this kind of tournament, if you will. How we can present this, I think what I'm going to do is after we finished all the battles for round one, I'm going to do like a highlight reel of all the kind of crazy moments from the different battles and have a video so we can have a highlight kind of like you do. And I mean, I'm kind of going off of my experience of watching stuff like NFL, how they do their stuff, and I'm going to try and just kind of mimic that, if you will, because it'll be pretty funny to show like how they do like the MVP units, and but they do highlights of the games and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my thoughts, and that's where I'm kind of going with this whole crazy situation, trying to make it kind of fun like that. But anyways, we got some impressive matches looking up for week two. Week two is going to have some pretty cool stuff. We got Russia versus Poland-Lithuania. So we got two of the 1-0 winners. One of them's going to go down. One of them's going to remain undefeated after that match. And then we got Sweden and Ottoman Empire, both winless teams. So one of them's going to come out with a win. And then we got Austria and Prussia taking on each other. Austria being 1-0 and Prussia 0-1. And then in round two of Group B, we got United States versus Spain. And obviously United States came in with a win. And we haven't seen Spain yet. So we're going to have to see how that battle, outcome is to see what that matchup's going to be like. But you got United Provinces and Maratha Confederacy, Great Britain versus France, who lost just a narrow, sad loss against the USA. And then round two, we're going to have the first appearance of the Cherokee Nations for Group C versus the Plains Nations trying to get the first win. And we got the Pueblo going up against the Huron. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how those battles go. And yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe we can start round two on Sunday, because we're going to have all of round one wrapped up today on the last stream. So again, the only matches we have left to finish out round one are going to be from Group B, Maratha versus Great Britain, and Spain versus United Provinces. Tonight at 8 o'clock, we will see what happens there. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. So I'm definitely interested in this Maratha versus Great Britain fight. That will be interesting to see how Great Britain takes on fighting against elephants. That could be a real game changer for the Maratha using their elephants. We'll see. Maratha's definitely got a good melee builds that they can put down. But yeah, Landfill, we'll see you later. I appreciate you joining the stream. It was great having all of you guys here. I appreciate it very much. I think we've wrapped up everything. So I think we'll go ahead and end the stream here. I hope you guys did enjoy this. This was a lot of fun for me. And absolutely it was. So I hope you guys enjoyed it too. We're going to hit the next stream later today at 8 o'clock if you want to see the results of the next group of battles. Maratha versus Great Britain and Spain, United Provinces, today at 8. For all you lovers out there of Valentine's Day weekend who don't have a date like me, let's do it. And more battles for everybody. See you at 8, guys. Thanks again.